Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to a slightly different video on the Unfocused podcast channel.
Today, we're going to be asking each other 13 different questions, so 26 overall, just to help you guys get to know us more.
So let's get straight into it. Do you think the aliens exist?
I mean, if we're being real with each other, how can they not? With how big space is, there is no way that some bacteria has not formed like us into some life. Like, whether aliens in the typical form that we think of them exist, who knows? But aliens as a whole, they got to, like, in my opinion, like, there's no way that there isn't other life out of all the planets in the world, especially when there are other planets that would have been discovered that can support our life. I mean, what's to say that they aren't other humans? Like, where do you come from?
So, from South Wales, little place called Cumbran, Valley of the Crows. Not really anything special about it, unfortunately. Big mountains, but that's pretty much it. There's not really any sort of parks. There's a lot of fields. So football was always a thing when I was a bit younger. But yeah, from South Wales in Cumbran.
Up the Bran.
If you couldn't be convicted of any one type of crime, what criminal charge would you like to be immune from?
See, this is pretty easy for me. I don't know what the viewers are going to think of me after this, but it's definitely murder. There are multiple people that I would, slaughter, basically. I would, not do anything extreme, just end their life, that's all. Do you have any hobbies?
So, not as many now as I probably would have about a year ago, but still trying to keep fit. Football, obviously football. I don't know whether there's another question later down the line, we'll see, but Chelsea fan, so support them. Have to really support them, really keep going. But football, keeping fit, gym, always gym, getting the gains, and that's about it. If magic was real, what spell would you try to learn first?
My answer is I would learn teleportation first.
Is that a spell?
Is that a spell? I think it is, because you can, it's magic, isn't it? It's just you say, I want to go here, take me.
Yeah, we'll count that. We'll count that.
That's an eligible answer, I think. So, when you sneeze, why do you sneeze 7 or 8 times in consecutive fashion?
A lot goes up my nose. If animals could talk, which animal do you think would be the most annoying?
I mean, there are a lot of animals which could come under this. I think, you know what? The first animal I thought of then is a flamingo. I think they just, them animals are just get on your nerves. Yeah, flamingos. What is your favourite film?
So, there's a few I think I would kind of put up very high. I think the Batman trilogy with Christian Bale are some of my favourite films. I think The Hunger Games, not quite as high, but they're definitely up there. I think overall I'd have to go with John Wick, probably in the order of John Wick 1, John Wick 3, John Wick 2. I think it's just non-stop action. Keanu Reeves is a beautiful man. He's absolute idol, iconic, and I think I'd go with John Wick as my favourite. What is your worst habit?
See, I'd say a more common bad habit of mine would be biting my nails. For some reason, I just can't stop, and I wish I could. But my worst habit is probably being late to absolutely everything.
I can say that is absolutely true.
My time management is pretty poor, as you might say. I always think I have more time than I do, and I usually end up late for absolutely everything. So that is my worst habit. How long would you last in a zombie apocalypse?
Now, honestly, I think I could last quite a while. I'd like to fancy myself in a sprint. I think I could last quite a while. I live quite close to shops, that sort of, so I could attempt to break into there, keep myself going with food. I think my street is quite easy to lock down, so I think I'd be able to try and get some sort of fencing up, some sort of defense. I think I'd probably survive between 6 months and a year.
Well, I just want to say one thing there. You said you fancy yourself in a sprint. You fancy yourself enough, so don't get too confident.
What's the worst hairstyle you've ever had? Now, you've had some bad ones. I'm just going to chime in before you even answer that. What's the worst one?
Wow. I'd say my worst one is every single haircut I've ever had. I mean, it's either been skinhead or just I don't even know, mate. It's just all been terrible. I hate my hair, and I can't wait to go bald. What did you think was cool when you were younger, but no longer do?
Myself. Would you want the ability to hear your thoughts of people near you, around you, that sort of thing, if you couldn't turn that ability off?
Nah, man, I'd be even people thought of me, and I'm way too self-conscious for that. I'd be I just run away if someone thought, oh, what's that nonce doing over there? I'd run. That'd be horrible. No thanks. If one song could describe the lowest part of your life, what would it be?
I think I definitely have to say Oxygen by Whit Lowry. I think there's a lot of things in there that I can kind of relate to, even if some of it's not, bang on, nail on the head. But I think a lot of it I can relate to. Obviously, a big fan of Whit Lowry anyway, and a lot of his songs. I think there's little bits I can take from it, but I think overall, Whit Lowry, Oxygen, that's the one.
Listen to our Spotify rap podcast if you would like to hear more about Whit Lowry.
Yeah, first one. Go back, go watch it. What do you do when you hear something fall in the middle of the night whilst you're in bed?
Go back to sleep and hope it kills me. Are ghosts real?
So, I don't think ghosts are real in terms of you'll be able to see them necessarily. They don't haunt you. They don't try and scare you by the way they look and that sort of thing. Is my view, and I think there's definitely a chance of things like spirits, and I think there are true stories when people say that they've seen people that have passed away and that sort of thing, and I don't think that's them making it up. I think that's they've genuinely seen something, and it'd be interesting to kind of experience it oneself, just to kind of know what it's like and prove to myself that in some way that yes, they are real. What's your least favourite word?
My least favourite word. I don't know. I don't know if this is weird. I don't know if but basically, the word I'm thinking is just bland, because it is so bland. It's stupid, but
Boring, yeah.
it's just a bad word, isn't it? It's just, oh man, yeah, bland. What is your favourite football team? As you were right from earlier, that is a question.
Yeah, so my favourite team is Chelsea. I've never lived anywhere near Chelsea, anywhere near London. I have no real reason for supporting them.
Fake fan.
I'm not but I've been a supporter of Chelsea since I was about 10 years of age. That's when I sort of started looking at football and enjoying it a bit more than just knowing it was a thing or seeing it on the TV. Started playing a bit more football, watching it to actually enjoy it, and I think some of it came from playing with them on FIFA 09, FIFA 10. And then when I actually came round to thinking, yeah, I need to support a team, I was like, I like them. Yeah, I mean, it did happen to be that they had a good team around that time, but I think partly came down to when I started. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Well, you most definitely know this one. And it is, yep. Oh, it went through me. It's hearing people eat. It is the worst sound in the world. Or if I hear people breathe. I do believe it's called a misophonia. And it is the worst thing you can have. If someone smacks their lips, I want to kill myself brutally. And it cringes me. Ugh. What would be the worst food to liquefy and drink through a straw?
That's a tough one. I think there's quite possibly a lot of foods that you could say would be really, really bad. I think things like a mixture of, I don't know, some people probably like Sprouts in a liquid. I don't know. I think for me, I think Sprouts would be some of the worst things to try in liquid form because I don't like them solid. So never mind if I actually had them as a juice. So I'll go with Sprouts personally. If you had to flee the country, which country would you flee to?
See, if you're talking, I have to flee the country, so that's all I'm thinking is that it's going to be for a reason where I don't want people to find me. So I'm thinking a country that's pretty remote, sort of. So I'm thinking something like Argentina, but then it's like freezing. I want to be somewhere where it's more like paradise, where I can chill but not be found. So, I don't know. I'd go outside of Europe because Europe, yeah, it's a bit meh for the most part. I think I might find like a little remote village in South Africa and just chill, just live my life. If you had a giraffe that you needed to hide, where would you hide it?
So I think the best place for me to hide a giraffe, I'm not sure why I'd need to hide a giraffe, but if I did, for whatever reason, there's a little cabin at the bottom of my garden in the corner, and it's a reasonable size. It can hold, a few people in there. It's relatively tall. I think I'd keep him down there. Nobody ever goes down there that sort of direction, so we get eat off the trees. Nobody would see him. There's a little area around the back so he can go in the field as well. So I think he could hide away in there for a little while before he'd get caught. What would your warning label say if every person was required to have one?
My warning label would say along the lines of doesn't think before he speaks, chats at a nonsense, I'll say.
Ooh, almost said a swear. Ooh.
I'm keeping it PG for the podcast. Doesn't matter what I'm like off it. That's just professional for the podcast. That's all. Yeah, that'd be my warning label. Just don't. Yeah, that's. I want it in quotes. Do not listen to. What was/is your favourite thing to collect?
There's been a few things that I've collected over the years. So I've collected things like Go-Go's, which were the OG thing to collect. I've collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, match attacks here and there. The thing I'm on at the minute is pop vinyls. So I've got 26 at the minute, which is, well, for people I know, it's quite a lot. It's too much money spent on it. I know that for a fact. But 26 of them, all around my room, presented, looking cool. I'll go with the pop vinyls are the best thing.
Just want to say at the end of that, I know that question isn't for me, but I'm going to take the spotlight for a second and just say, I don't think I've ever collected anything in my life. Which is pretty interesting, I think.
I don't think you have you? Oh wow.
Nope. I'm pretty boring.
Interesting. What would you make everyone believe in, given the chance, regardless of whether it's true or not?
I have a 12... So, I think if I had the opportunity, I would make everyone believe that. I think it's a hard thing because it's like there's a few different angles or ways you could go with it. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go for a more personal thing, and I'd make everyone believe that I am 6 foot.
Oof. Double your current height.
About that, yeah. If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you had done?
So it's definitely going to be something when I was drunk. Or it'll be me getting in a fight with someone.
So
I'll combine the two and say drunkenly fighting someone within a pub. Okay, and that's all the questions for this video.
Thank you for listening to our random questions. Hopefully this lets you get to know us more, and hopefully we aren't too weird that you will not subscribe or unsubscribe.
Make sure to go down below, comment in the comment section, ask us some more questions if you want to know. We'll see if we can get down there, we can answer some that perhaps we haven't answered today.
Definitely, we're always looking for interaction. It's fun.
And whilst you're down there, make sure you make sure you go to our Instagram, to our Twitter, make sure you're following all of that so you can keep up to date with what we're doing. We've just uploaded a video which I'll put on the screen now, and then go and watch that, give it some love, give us some likes, give us some interaction, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.